Another incubator special coming your way. We met the Yoga Mandi. She was great on her show here to kick us off. And now we're bringing on Harry on this bonus series on That Entrepreneur Show. Harry, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
I had the chance to sit next to him in our workspace here at the Lowe Center. I've learned a lot about what he does, and I think he's up to a lot of great things. I was a baseball player, so I didn't play lacrosse, so I'm learning a lot from him. But Harry, share your story and what led you to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so I was always somebody that had a really good work ethic. And when lacrosse ended, I had another year to come back. So I kind of went into the master's program for entrepreneurship. Didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. I kind of just used it to play another year, used my COVID year to play lacrosse again.
Right.
And then after that, our first class was like kind of all ideas, just talking about kind of what being an entrepreneur is like. And, I slowly kind of realized that, the 9-to-5 setting wasn't for me. And then I started kind of brainstorming ideas and, being in the sport of lacrosse, a big need, always trying to solve a problem, right? A big problem to solve was the fact that these younger kids weren't getting a level of coaching that was equivalent to the other states of lacrosse.
Okay.
So rather than starting a club team, I personally more enjoy to train kids. So it's more about kind of skills, less about teams.
Okay.
So just kind of combined my passion with, that problem to solve, and then it slowly kind of built. At first, I wanted to do, all sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just young and didn't have any idea of how complicated starting something like that would be. So I just kind of chose my niche, lacrosse, and then, just kept making my niche smaller. And so recently, now we're just kind of college prep and, mostly just working with high school kids in group training basis for lacrosse. And then recently we slowly started incorporating kind of strength and conditioning, and then working on something right now that kind of helps more on the mental side. So for any kid that, stresses himself out a little too much or lacks self-confidence when he gets on the field, which is definitely different than the skill training. Because I know kids who are the cockiest kids ever and walk around on the field like they own it, but aren't very good. And I know kids who are naturally very, very talented and are skillfully way better than those kids, but don't believe in themselves when they get on the field. So we're excited to try to kind of work that issue out and that training out.
You mentioned a lot of good things. We heard passion. We heard about niching down, something I struggled with in the beginning with speaking. My story can help and resonate to a lot of people, but that's not the way it works. If you try to do everything, you do nothing. And we've learned that here in the entrepreneurship program.
Right.
He's been on a mental health break, so he mentioned a little bit about the mental health sides of things he's working on. Check out his episode there. It's going to be in the show description on the audio and here on YouTube. Did you always want to start this as your first company? Was there anything else that came to your mind in that entrepreneurship class when you first got the taste of not being in the 9-to-5?
Something with training.
Right.
I definitely loved just the aspect of working on your craft on something, and I wanted to help people in any way, and I think that was just my best kind of funnel, if you will.
I love it. Well, then I'm going to ask now, what made you niche down to college prep? You mentioned you had the big ambitions, you were going to go for all the sports, then you went to lax, then you said we're going college prep. What was intriguing about that for you?
Yeah, I think our price points were undesirable for younger kids who just wanted to go out there and have fun.
Right.
And I think some parents were mistaken with, the in-depth and detailed training that we do. Like
Let's talk about that, exactly. Let's talk about that in-depth training.
Yeah. So basically, there's a lot of different aspects to lacrosse, a lot of positions. So we have a trainer for each position, and they have different plans for each type of player per position. So it's really tailored, really personalized, and yeah, I mean it's been great. We've got a great staff. A lot of the better players and motivated players that came out of University of Tampa have kind of joined in on what we're doing. Recently, one of my good buddies, Colin White, he's been helping on the operations side, and is definitely going to be kind of a co-owner for us and help build our brand. But yeah, very, very detailed training. We really like to kind of analyze and evaluate day one on what they need, and let parents know and let the players know on kind of our path that we envision for them, because we do think that players don't really know how to approach off season the right way, and I mean mainly in sports I think that's an issue, but yeah, I mean that's where we're tackling right now.
I love the custom approach. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You're making this unique so it actually works for these players. I really commend that. You also highlighted building a team, surrounding yourself with people you trust. You're using your network, some guys you trusted while you played. Where do you envision it going? How big do you want to get? Do you want to get big? Because I know you're localized here, and now you're growing. You had a sales call when we walked in this morning. He's on a call up north.
Yeah.
So I know you're growing. Share your vision with our audience.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said in the beginning, it's not getting big too quickly, and we really want to kind of hone down this area, the Tampa Bay area and the city surrounding it. Right. But I mean, who knows if we really kind of perfect our product and really work on our training, and we feel that other players need it and aren't getting as good of a product elsewhere, then we'll take it to there. And I definitely think that with our operation system, that we make it really easy for a trainer who wants to get players better at the sport of lacrosse on their own time. Mm-hmm. So kind of how I bring people on is obviously right now there's not enough money to do it full time. So anybody who wants a side hustle, right? Like the 40 hours a week, if somebody wants to do 60 hours a week of work and they want 20 hours extra or 10 hours extra, come use kind of our system to do that, and it kind of provides the perfect side hustle for ex-lacrosse players who have a working job.
Coming out of lacrosse in college, what is the next level? Is the next step, right? How often do people go pro in lacrosse?
Yeah, so it's very difficult to play pro lacrosse. Not only are just like the elite of the elite, obviously for any sport, but what makes lacrosse different is that number one, the lead guy in lacrosse, Paul Rabel, who started the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League. There's not a lot of teams on it. I think there's only about like 6 right now. So
how many roster spots on each team?
6 times 20.
20 guys.
So 120 players. I'm not sure how many players there are in college lacrosse, but just
thousands, probably.
Yeah. So definitely super hard, and not only it's not like going from college to pro in terms of 120 players. Right. It's like there's only 2-3 spots per team. Yeah. So now you're looking at like 15-20 guys to the league. So
maybe 0.5% guys move on, but
exactly,
you're finding a way to continue your passion, stay in the field you love, the game you love, turning it into a career. Where do you see yourself expanding if lacrosse gets so big and you want to get to that next sport? I know you wanted to do a bunch and you're ambitious. What would that next sport be?
I mean,
thought into that, yeah.
So I have. Because at the end of the day, as much of I am a lacrosse guy and very passionate about the sport of lacrosse, for me, I think my bigger passion is just training, just training in general. Like, post lacrosse, working out really wasn't for me, and I wanted to train for something. And I kind of found boxing, and boxing, like I told you, has been kind of my new passion in my own sense. Sorry, but yeah. So a sport that we're looking at right now would probably be softball. We think that a lot of players out there, but we don't think anybody has really committed to it professionally as a training service. And who knows any other sports, but yeah, that's basically where we're at.
I mean, who knows? Eventually, there'll be boxing a part of it too.
Yeah.
He's found his passion, keeps branching out himself. He's touched on a lot today. Niching down again, surrounding yourself with a good group of people you trust to bring this mission on. Who's complementing his weaknesses and strengths. You're focused on one area. Now it looks like you're bringing on maybe a co-owner, so that's really, really cool. That's exciting. I appreciate you coming on, Harry.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun to talk with you. Where can we find you online? Where can we find your website, social, all that good stuff?
So our website, premierplayerdevelopment.com. On Instagram, it's just Premier Player Development. And yeah, I think Instagram and our websites are our best line of communication. So
all right, well, thanks again, everyone. Be
Appreciate
sure to check all of that great stuff out online. We are at That Entrepreneur Show on all social media, at Vincent De Lancey on all for myself, and on YouTube. Be sure, if you're listening to this show, to head to YouTube to watch the video that we recorded here at the Load Center. You see the beautiful background behind us. We're very lucky to be here. But with that, we are signing off.